Welcome to Save U.S. Taxes Legally. I want to teach this to as many U.S. investors, U.S. business owners, entrepreneurs, franchisee owners, and also 1099 income earners how you can save taxes legally. This is a secret of the rich. This comes from England way back when King Henry VIII started the Church of England. Murder a few ladies, start a church. Hey, why not? He went to go tax the lords and ladies of England, and they went further back to the Magna Carta, the 13th century, and said, oh, no, King Henry VIII, you can't do this. It's contract law that came from England to the colonies, but we were still a part of England. The law firm I work on behalf of was started 77 years ago by a Harvard law professor, and they inherited a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023. So now it's 352 years old. It's before we were a country. Our current tax structure that we are under here in the United States started February of 1913 and was only supposed to be around for a few years. The super rich families of 1913, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, the Kennedys, made sure they could save taxes. Well, if they can save taxes, we can save taxes. My name is Sally Gimmon, and I'm the owner of www.thetrustisyou.com and a free class on the Great Discovery, my first name and my last name squished together, where you'll get a presentation very similar to this one, 3 articles from Forbes magazine I did not write, 2 pages of case law so you can research this to your heart's content, and examples of clients saving thousands of dollars. So let's start off with 3 simple questions. Number 1, do you want to leave a legacy for future generations? Yes or no in the chat. Actually, just put yes in the chat, it'd be easier. Number 2, do you want to save taxes year after year, generation after generation? If it's yes, put it in the chat. Excellent. Number 3, I can't stop you from being sued, but do you want all lawsuits to become frivolous and go away? If that's a yes, put it in the chat. Excellent. So the Spendthrift Trust, let me switch my screen right now, share. The Spendthrift Trust is going to leave a legacy. All lawsuits become judgment proof or frivolous, and your information is kept completely private. Who doesn't want to know about this? So now page down, move down. Now, most people are unaware there's 4 ways to save your taxes, or to file taxes, file taxes. Either single, the most expensive way. I'm single, I know that. Head of household, you are a single parent with kids 18 or under. Married filing jointly, married filing separately, and then married filing jointly, which is the cheapest. If you learn nothing else from my presentation today, check out what they did on January 1st, 2025. They made married filing separately the same exact tax rate as single. They didn't have to tell anyone. The IRS changed this. If you get nothing else from this presentation, if you are married, please file jointly. It's the most important thing. The more money you make, the more money you pay. I'll tell you my story in just a second. Now, Paul Benson was a Harvard law professor. He wrote 5 specific trusts to save specific taxes. You are not tax-free. You're saving specific taxes. Personally, I have both the business trust and the beneficial trust. I just went to Walmart today and bought some food, and I paid 2% food tax here in North Carolina. I still pay taxes, but I get to save taxes too. So let's get into this. When you research this, and I want you to do as much research as you can, you're going to find an opinion letter that, dated August 9th of 2023. The IRS specifically says they do not like tax code 643B. They do not like the irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor spendthrift trust. It's their opinion. They can't change it. Only Congress can. In my opinion, today at Walmart, I did not buy any lima beans. I hate lima beans. You can't swallow them easily. My mom used to serve lima beans at least twice a month. Now, These 5 elements are extremely important. You must have all 5 elements to make this work. Irrevocable. This goes from generation to generation. The Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust is 7 generations old and has 400 people under the same EIN or employee identification number. Each family files a separate 1041 tax return, but they all get to save taxes. That, as the old adage, keep the money in the family, that's what the Rockefellers do. Complex. This trust can hold money from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade, century to century. 97% of the trusts sold in the United States are what my mom and dad had and what Susie Orman talks about on PBS television. The family trust or the living trust. There's nothing wrong with the family trust. The only thing it's designed to do is avoid probate and then goes away, or actually dissolves. With this trust, there's no probate, there's no inheritance tax, it goes from generation to generation. Follow the breadcrumbs of the Riich and you'll understand. Third element, discretionary. Whoever is a trustee or trustees can make the rules for the beneficiaries while they're alive and also from the grave. There's no infighting, there's no contesting of the will in court. An actual client of mine, husband and wife who have 4 apartment buildings in the Los Angeles area. Their adult daughter has a problem and they are requiring her to do 4 random drug tests per month to live there rent-free. She actually took her mom and dad to federal court saying this was unconstitutional. The judge read the trust and he told her she has 2 options. Option 1, pass the random drug test, stay living rent-free. Option 2, move out and start paying rent. I don't ever want to be invited to their Thanksgiving dinner. Fourth element, non-grantor. This makes the trust completely private. When you start this trust, you are going to have a grantor or a settler who will never be a beneficiary and who will never be a trustee. This person will sign up saying, I've approved this trust, I'm setting this trust up, and then they sign themselves away. I personally used a family friend who knew me before I was born. I took him to lunch. I started both my business and beneficial trust at the same time, and he had to sign his name, starting the 2 separate trusts and then signing away from the 2 separate trusts. This is not a speed bump. You do need their social security number. If you don't have anyone you want to use, I have done this for several of my clients. And then the last element, spendthrift. This has been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions and it won both times. You can't get more legal than this. So let's get into this. The business trust is for all U.S. business owners, entrepreneurs, franchisee owners, and 1099 income earners. If you're making $100,000 gross per year, you will save at least 90% in federal income taxes, and in 43 states no longer pay state income taxes. And if I get all these states incorrect, please forgive me. Tennessee, Texas, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, and I forget, Delaware, and there's one more I forget. But if you live in any of the other states, you will save money. This is a true story. This client contacted me on January 3rd. He got out of the military 2 years ago. He's working as a salesman making 1099 income. He knew in 2024 he made $150,000 gross. He had nothing to show for it. He lives in an apartment with 2 roommates. He's single ladies, and he drives a 10-year-old car. If he makes $150,000 again in 2025, he has plans to make more than $150,000, but again, we're just using the numbers he gave me. He will save 90% of $25,962. Again, saving Virginia's state income taxes of 5.75% is an additional $8,625. Add those 2 together. For a full year, he's going to save $34,587. Per month, if you prefer to find that out, he saves $2,882 per month. The only thing he had to do was tell the company he works for, hey, I changed my bank account. Instead of this bank and this bank account, or maybe it's the same bank, but this is the new routing number. They pay into his business Spendthrift trust. He has access to the money with a debit card, and nobody needs to know what he does. As he told me on January 3rd, he had several huge contracts coming through for 2025. So I hope he's making more than $150,000. He'll save more in taxes. Now, my personal story. In October 2018 was a watershed month for me. Three major things happened for me. I'm living in Phoenix, Arizona. My oldest nephew is getting married in Charlotte, North Carolina, October 28th, 2018. I'm working as a Medicare broker. I had requested the Friday before the wedding and the Monday after the wedding off, and I was denied. Even though I had a vacation time, I was denied because open enrollment is from October 7th to December 5th. I didn't like working for that company, and I liked it even more. Second thing that happened, my 3-week old car, a Hyundai Veloster with a moonroof. Oh, you need that in Phoenix. I'm driving to work 7 o'clock in the morning on Indian School Road. I'm the second car through in a green light, and some idiot runs a red light, T-bones me on my passenger side, and he has no insurance. Silly Sally had the paperwork for gap insurance sitting on our kitchen table because she had 4 weeks to fill it out. It was only the 3rd week. I'm upside down on my auto loan and had to get a second car. I went from being comfortable to eating ramen noodles twice a week, like I was a 21-year-old college student. Third thing that happened, my mom and dad, who lived in Goodyear, Arizona, 20 miles west of Phoenix on I-10, drove from Goodyear to Charlotte for the wedding. They were supposed to be gone for 2 weeks. My dad calls me Thursday night before the wedding. I'm leaving Friday night to say my mom's in the emergency room. They don't know what's wrong. She ended up having septic of the blood poisoning. She was on the ventilator for 13 months, in a hospital for 15 months. They stayed in the Charlotte area for 9 months when my dad had planned to be gone for 2 weeks. I'm driving out to their house once a week to do the mail, and her Medicare statement, for first month Medicare statement, to be on the ventilator, to go to the emergency room and be on the ventilator, was $37,000. I'm standing in their kitchen. I have a mortgage. I have 2 car payments that I didn't plan on. I have a $10,000 deductible on my health insurance. I thank God I was injured in that accident. I have student loans because I went to graduate school, and I hate my job. Right then and there, I called my friend Glenn, who had invited me to a real estate meeting in August of 2018. And Glenn answers, and I said, Glenn, I need to change my life today. He's like, Sally, come to a potluck party next week, bring some food, and meet my fellow real estate investors. Okay? I only know Glenn and his wife, but I did it. So I go to the party. I meet my mentor, Jay Tannenbaum, and in 2019, with his tutelage, I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties nationwide. Woo-hoo! I'm a rock star in my real estate group. I was a smart real estate investor, paid off all my debt, had $50,000 in my bank account. COVID struck around March 17th. My mom's from Ireland. We canceled a huge St. Patrick's Day party. On April 1st of 2020, my 3 notes didn't pay me on time. Yikes. On April 4th, 2020, my CPA calls me. You never want to accept a phone call from your CPA, and says, congratulations, Sally. You made so much money in 2019, your tax bracket went from 22% to 24%. You owe $93,000 in short-term capital gains. I had $50,000 in my bank account. Yikes. He set me up on a payment plan. Took a HELOC out of my house, and I started researching the Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust. It's called The Office. In July of 2020, I purchased this house in North Carolina to write it off on taxes to visit my mom in the hospital. It got held up because of COVID. I paid $20,000 for it. It was going to go to auction for $50,000 at 24% tax rate. In between, I would pay $7,110 in short-term capital gains. When it finally went to auction on August 28th of 2021, the final bid was $64,326. Woo-hoo! Without lifting a hammer, I made $44,326 in profit. At 24%, I got to save $10,368.24. I'll never have to pay back to the federal government. I took that $10,368 and turned it into more real estate. It's not hard to do. The beneficial trust is for all US investors. I don't care what kind of investing you're doing, but you're going to save the following taxes year after year, generation after generation. You'll no longer pay short-term capital gains or long-term capital gains. Short-term capital gains are when you sell crypto, you do options trading, you're a forex investor, you're wholesaling, you're fix and flipping, you're doing auction houses or tax liens. Interest income taxes, you'll no longer pay that either, just like federal income taxes between 10% to 37%. So if you are doing subject to real estate, you're a passive investor, you're in mutual funds, you're in a REIT, you're doing the BRRRR strategy. I had notes, creative financing, seller financing, or again, if you're a forex investor. Forex investors, you get taxed twice. You need a beneficial spendthrift trust. You'll no longer pay dividend income taxes if you're in the stock market. You're a day trader. You're doing if you're doing futures trading or commodities or living off of dividends, you'll save taxes. If you're a real estate investor in long-term holding, you'll no longer pay taxes and keep your information private, and all lawsuits become frivolous. So if the renter's dog gets out and bites the mailman can't come after you. And the one tax that's not on here, it's taxed a little bit less, is royalty income taxes. So if you have talent or if you're in the NFT world, those are taxed between 10% to 35%, 7 different layers, but you'll save those too. Year after year, generation after generation. My 2024 taxes, I got to save capital gains, I got to save interest income taxes, I got to save rental income taxes, and I got to save royalty income taxes. I got different things coming in different ways. It doesn't matter what you do, you get to save that. Now, long-term capital gains are a year or more and affect you when you sell your business, sell an investment property, or you sell a baseball card. This is a true story. The son saw my TikTok video, contacted me on TikTok and said, my parents are selling the family restaurant for $3 million as is. Jim and his 2 brothers built this restaurant 42 years ago. They are using a business broker named Sam. Their contract was going to go through on March 30th of 2023. I contacted Sam, the business broker, saying we got to change the name of the trust to what Jim and his wife decided it was going to be. And at 15%, they got to save $450,000, or at 20%, they got to save $600,000. Sam, the business broker, is like, I'm going to make $30,000 off this deal. Tell me more about the business trust. He started the business trust. I told him about my affiliate, that I pay $1,000 when I get paid. And he told Michael, who was buying the family restaurant, it was going to be his 7th restaurant in 3 different states. And Michael bought the business trust. Sam got paid an extra $1,000. Now, I just put this new slide in here because I have talked to several people in August and September. If you're 65 or older, there's a thing called IRMA, Income-Related Adjustable Amount. It affects your Part B and Part D of Medicare. If you get Social Security, if you are getting 1099 income, if you're getting wages, if you're getting dividend income taxes, if you're doing withdrawals from 401ks or SEPs, depending if you're single or if you're married, depending on how much money you're making, it can affect both your Part B and Part D of Medicare. Somebody who I'm talking to right now, who lives in New Jersey, we are going to save them $495 for his wife and $495 per month for him on their Medicare. He's just like, that just pays for the trust. Again, this is only if you're on Medicare and making too much money. It's a special thing called IRMA. Give you a little history on this. Every October, the IRS goes back 2 years. So October 2025, they're going to go back to the 1040 tax returns of 2023 and see if you made too much money. The trust files a 1041 tax return. The IRS does not check that. Now, if you would like to set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, my calendar link is www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling. My free class on the Great Discovery is www.myfirstnameandmylastname.com, where you'll get 3 articles from Forbes magazine I did not write, 2 pages of case law where you can research this to your heart's content, and examples of clients saving thousands of dollars. I believe since I got to do all the research on what I'm doing, it's my duty and my honor to teach as many U.S. business owners, U.S. entrepreneurs, U.S. franchisee owners, U.S. 1099 income earners, and U.S. investors the secret of the rich. I also believe that the playing field must be leveled for all businesses. Amazons of the world get free land. My brother lost his brewery because the rents went too high. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you learned something new. Have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.